What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about TSLY, COIN, and CONY today. TSLY at the request of Vector 0, CONY and COIN at the request of TY6390 and Diesel Killer. We're going to do this right now, so without any further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so looking at this bad boy here on a monthly is not going to help us at all. It's really not. It's barely going to help us on a weekly, but I do think we're going lower, which makes sense because I think Tesla's going to go lower too, right? So a little bit maybe on this high here. There we go. Look at that. You're at your 1618 actually. That's pretty nice. Let's see what you did with that. Finding support on it. Nice. You might go back up to about 1030. You're at 978 now. Maybe you go up to 1030. Maybe you go all the way back up to around $11. But inevitably, I do think you're gonna go lower. I personally do. But who knows? Time will tell. Let's see. Looking at this on a daily, you are at an area where you've bounced several times, right? Maybe get this a little tighter. Again, leaving the door open that maybe you do go a little bit lower in the more immediate term, but I think this is fine. I think you could bounce around here. To a certain degree, you do have like double bullish divergence, but I think really what you're in is just like this downward channel. You're at the bottom of it now, so you're going to go back up to the top of it, right? You have like a downward sloping descending trend line, and then you have a descending trend line at the top too. You're going to go back up to the top of it and then reject. They're not drawn perfectly. I'm just more illustrating an idea. But that's TSLY. I actually do think it's going to bounce up from here. If it goes lower, it's going to be barely. I'm going to look at it on the 1 hour. 1 hour would suggest that you are getting ready to go higher potentially, unless you reject that 50, in which case you will go lower. But I do think you're going to get a bounce relatively soon. Probably again around like $10 to $11, somewhere in that range. That's my. I mean, you're at $9.94 now, so let's actually say like $10.70 to $11, somewhere around there. Moving on to COIN. Coinbase Global. What a day it had. It went down and then went up, just like a lot of the mining stocks today. I want to look at Bitcoin real quick. Where's it at? Yeah, it's just. It probably did that because Bitcoin had a little pump toward the end of the day for stocks, not for the end of the day for Bitcoin. I mean, it did pump a little bit going into the end of the day, but I would say actually it came down even. Let me see. Yeah, it actually, it pumped and then it came down a little bit for the end of the day, very technically for Bitcoin, but enough to pump the stocks a little bit with it while it was going up. COIN. Let's see where you're at. Maybe on a relative fib, and then we'll work our way down. So top to bottom, you did close this week below the 382. I do think you have lower to go, absolutely. I think that $100 to $95 area, maybe around $94, is very much alive. You could go even lower than that, but I think $94 to $100 is about right to me, maybe $102, something like that. Lower nonetheless. If I put a line right there at the 618 and I take away that fib, you can see that that's right at previous areas of resistance here, resistance there. It kind of makes sense. If we take the overall fib from like the top here of this move that sent you down and get the bottom, that lines up pretty well with the 0.5 as well. That's not a common area to find support on, but you absolutely could. A lot of things have been doing that lately, actually. I want to see top to bottom here. Yeah. You hit the 1886, you're below your 1272. At least you're going to go to 108. However you want to skin this, it's going lower. It's probably going lower. And look at that, the 618's right there at 94, about $95 as well. So you very well could go all the way down there. It's more common in my experience whenever you see these extensions to actually go right off the 886. But it's common enough that you could go to the 786 or even down to the 618, of course. But I looked to that 886 first, but just with how the first fib looked, I would kind of think that you go lower, personally. Again, or lower as in like around 94 to 102, 101, something like that. 94.88, it just keeps showing up, man. This 94 to $95 area, so lower nonetheless is where I think you're going. In the more immediate term, lower. Yeah, I'm not impressed with how this week closed. You are at your oversold zone, and you have bounced right off of here before, but it was after being in the oversold zone, right? It was after hitting it here, You moved sideways, you even went a little bit lower, and then you got some bullish divergence, and then you bounced right off it. So I think you do have lower to go nonetheless. You might find a bounce or some stagnation relatively soon, but don't let that sway you, because I do think that you're going to more or less kind of work your way down, much like how you worked your way up here. I think you're going to work your way down. You're going to get like a nice equilateral little movement there. 1 hour maybe. Yeah, I'm not impressed. If it goes up, it might open up the week next week going upwards and then coming downwards. You might even get above that high. You might even get above 135, 136, but nonetheless an overall lower high. Just as like this high was technically higher than these highs were, but still an overall lower high, right? You're getting lower highs, lower lows. Even if you get above that, still an overall lower high. I think you have lower to go. You might open up the week bullish and then close the week bearish is what I'm assuming. Or you might even have a bullish week next week, but nonetheless, I think you're going down. I think you have more to go, which would imply that CONY itself will probably go down as well. Let's see. CONY actually looks a little bit more bearish in my opinion. At an area where you would find support, right, based on the price here. But all in all, it's just going to do what coin does, right? So if coin goes up, this thing probably won't go up as much, but whenever it goes down, it'll follow coin in suit with that. You know, I'm basically just doing the same TA twice here. But 1571, 1315, somewhere in that area is what I would expect. If coin, let's see, let's just do some rough comparisons real quick. Top to bottom drops 36.8%. I'm expecting it personally to at least go to 100. Let's just call it that. Let's call it a 20% drop, more to go. It's already dropped about 37%. Okay, now let's go to CONY. 20% more, 37, so right? 37 so far, yeah. Top to bottom, you've had a 38%, so very close, very close. A little bit more, but you know, probably less liquidity, so it just varies a little bit. I'm impressed that it's actually that tight, but 20% more to go from where it is. Right, I'm pretty sure I measured it from where it is, not from where the bottom was. Yeah, I did. Okay. 20% more would take you down to your 1272. So yeah, around $15 to $16 is probably where you're going for this thing. So that's it, guys. If you liked the video, hit that like button. Don't be surprised if CONY and coin see a little bit of an upside going into next week. Even Tesla as well. Tesla might have a longer sustained upside, temporarily speaking, than coin or CONY does, but I do expect all of them to go lower nonetheless. So that's that. If you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe to see more. Thank you all. I know I said Tesla, I meant TSLY, but whatever, same thing. Have a good day. Bye-bye.